Hello and welcome once again, fellow vinyl aficionados. Racer Records back with a challenge accepted. I'm not sure if that's the right way to put that or not, but there's a challenge out there. It's about a month ago, and I'm always about a month and sometimes 7 months behind, but it was out there a while ago. Rob Walker is the gentleman that started it, and I will put a link to his channel in the description. He started it, and where I came across it was Brian's channel, Embryonic Robot. And I am very surprised that I was actually able to get that out the first time because it's a bit of a mouthful, but I like the title. So that is where I came across the challenge, and I'll put a link to Brian's page as well. And what it is 10 illustrated albums, your favorite. And I'm not sure if these are necessarily my favorite. There's going to be certainly some of my favorites in there. And then as I went and seeked out other ones, I made my decisions based on, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Part of it as well was I walked downstairs into the record room and I looked on the wall, not this one, but there's another one, and it's a 16 4x4 Calyx. Anyway, I think 8 or 9 of them were illustrated albums. I didn't pick all of them from there, but definitely there was a couple on there. So I think the illustrated album thing obviously goes over well in the vinyl world. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it, and let's start off with a heavy hitter, and that, of course, is Derek Riggs and all of the Iron Maiden covers. But specifically, I chose this one because there is another gentleman, Frank. Again, I will put a link to his page in the description because he's got a great channel that you should watch, channel 33 RPM. Make sure you do. But he's got a good video about all the little hidden things going on in this album. So that's kind of why I chose Somewhere in Time by Iron Maiden. There are a number of things going on this album cover. So there is the first illustrated album, and again, make sure you check out Frank's great video, which I will post a link to in the description of this. All right, up next is a gentleman by the name of Ozzy Osbourne. This is a bit of a maligned album by Ozzy. I like it. I've always liked it. I thought as soon as I heard A Shot in the Dark, yeah, that's pretty good, and let's go with that. And I enjoy this album. Lots of Ozzy fans don't, but then there's lots of people who don't like a lot of different things, and then they do, and then they don't again. But anyway, I digress. But Boris Veo, I'm not sure if I am pronouncing that correctly or not, but I believe I am, is the artist of this cover. So, yeah, you know, you've got your standard metal female, scantily clad. Actually, she's not even that scantily clad. Tightly clothed clad. Let's put it that way. You got Ozzy as the bug, and then you've got Ozzy really as the bug on the back. But yeah, so that's Boris Vallejo, Ozzy Osbourne's The Ultimate Sin, one of my favorite illustrated covers. Up next, a band that I think if you've watched my channel before, you have maybe picked up on the fact that I am a bit of a Kiss fan. So there are obviously a few different ones to go with. There's Destroyer, and you know, there's Love Gun, and there's even Psycho Circus, etc. But the one that I chose that I have always enjoyed is the one by Michael Duert, who also happened to do Sonic Boom by these guys, a later album in the Kiss career. But of course, this is Kiss Rock and Roll Over. This one goes a ways back, and it's just a classic. It makes a great poster. It makes a great one to put up on your wall. It makes a great album to listen to as well. So there you go. That is Kiss Rock and Roll Over. There is another animated illustrated. Animated's not right. Illustrated. Let's go with illustrated. Okay, up next is, you may remember this one, Little Beastie Boys action. And you also may think, wait, is that Eminem Kamikaze? But no, it's not. That was just him ripping off or homaging this one. But yeah, Beastie Boys. This is credited to, and yes, I've got some cheat notes down here because I kind of remember some of them. But the artists on this one were Stephen Byram and World B. Ohms. Not his official name. But anyway, yeah, so those are the artists of this one. There, of course, is the full-blown, and I guess you could look at it that way as well. And then there are the said Beastie Boys inside, but that is not illustrated on the inside. It is illustrated on the outside. Licensed to Ill, Beastie Boys Illustrated. Again, some of these are going to be fairly common ones. And to be honest, I have a fairly eclectic taste, but not a wide range. So I wouldn't say it's completely mainstream, but there is certainly a lot of that. So there will be a lot of that in my videos. And if that's not your deal, I apologize. But, hopefully you can just enjoy them for what they are. Okay, up next is Captain Fantastic. Elton John. There is so much going on this album cover. I can't even get into it. This one was Alan Aldridge, who also did George Harrison's Wonderwall, one of George's first albums. And he also did Who's the Quick One? So a couple other ones by the same gentleman. Again, Alan Aldridge. But there's the outside. And just fantastic. Just great art. And I don't think there's anything special in the inside of this one. No, nothing special. But anyway, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, Elton John, a great illustrated album. Now, this is the one that I thought of first when this challenge came up. And yes, I am a red-blooded Canadian male, and that is not necessarily why. I just like the cover of this album. But you'll see what I mean in a second. And it is The Kings, Amazon Beach. Bob Ezrin produced, by the way. Didn't do very much. You'll know the Kings from Switching to Glide and The Beat Goes On, but this was, I'm not sure if it was the second or the third album, but this was a later attempt that did not garner as much success for these guys being the Kings. But there is the front, and cover art was Ron Larson, who also did Wheels Turning by REO Speedwagon, Linda Ronstadt's Lush Life, for which he won a Grammy, and Kosh, K-O-S-H, is his partner on a lot of those, and he's in fact on a couple of the other ones by himself as well, so just goes by the name of Kosh. But as far as the illustration goes, that is Ron Larson. So there you go, The Kings and Amazon Beach. There's a better look at it. And yes, it's scantily clad women on an album cover. Surprise, surprise. This one is cool. This one goes back a ways. And this is, of course, War. The World is a Ghetto. Great car down here on the bottom. Just a great streetscape, as well as up in the apartments, and lots of things going on up in the apartment windows. And I'm not sure what's exactly going on in this pane, but if you have it, get it out. Let me know what you think. What do you think is going on in this pane on this album cover, if you have this one? There are the boys from War themselves. This was drawn by Howard Miller. He also did Why Can't We Be Friends, another big song and another big album by the same band. So, yeah, there you go. There's another illustrated album, this one by War, The World as a Ghetto. All right, Racer's channel wouldn't be complete, for lack of the proper term, or a video by me. Anyway, if there wasn't at least one car on one of these albums, so I just happened to choose the best of Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh, one of my favorite guys, had a chance to see the Eagles a few years ago. Front row center, right in the middle, front row. Joe Walsh was, "Oh, Joe, let me touch your hand," right there from me, and it was pretty cool. But this is great. Joe Walsh, the best of. Not much to the back, but there is the front. Bob Hickson, the artist that did this one for Joe. So there you go, a little Joe Walsh and greatest hits action. All right, couple now I think may fall into the category of ones that you maybe have not seen. I think a lot of those you've probably seen before. Maybe not the Kings a whole bunch around the world, but anyway, these two may have been bought for the album covers and then enjoyed later. I'm not sure. But the first up is Gypsy Hawk, and I'm not sure that you can show that on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure you can. But I'll just block it out with my fingers for now anyway, although I'm going to show you some other parts and I'm not going to be able to block out. It's breasts, folks. Get over it. It's a little bit of animated, illustrated breasts. What are you going to do? So Gypsy Hawk, metal band. The artist is Dan Lerner. And I couldn't find much else out about Dan. And there is a website listed, in fact, as well for Dan, but it's no longer in service. That's more of a phone thing, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, so there's the front. There is Gypsy Hawk and Patience and Perseverance. There is the back. And then there is the gatefold as well. and the gatefold is pretty darn nice. So I think that I think a lot of us really enjoy the cover art and the artwork that goes along with albums, and it's pretty cool to see that there is in fact a category for that in the Grammys. Let's see what else is involved in this one. Just some more, not just some more, but a little bit more illustration on the inside, and then for what it's worth, it is the purple vinyl. Not that that matters or not when it comes to talking about the cover, but there you go, a little Gypsy Hawk. And yeah, I think it's safe to say I may have bought that one for the cover, but it's not a bad album either. It is a double album, and you know what, the other one is purple too, but kind of a purple splatter. Kind of like that one. Haven't talked too much about the colored variants thing. I enjoy it. Is it a necessity or something that I seek out specific? No, but you know what? If it's got a colored variant, why not? Looks cool. There you go, when it goes on the turntable. So there is number 9. All right, and number 10, again, red-blooded Canadian male. And yeah, there's going to be scantily clad women on album covers. But this was a buddy of mine, Alex's. Hey, Alex, if you're watching. And he was kind of done with it, and I thought, well, that's pretty cool, if for nothing else, just to face forward in the shelves. So it is Dr. Chud's X-Ward. There you go. That one's a little graphic, but kind of cool. There is the back as well. Dr. Chud described as horror punk. I'm not sure how that is. I'm not sure how I describe it, but we'll go with horror punk. And, really what's not to like? The artists are Joe Simcoe, Matt Lukish, and Dr. Chud himself. So there's the artists on Dr. Chud's X-Ward. And then you've got a whole little comic strip on the inside. And yeah, pretty cool. So again, it may have been bought. Well, it was bought because it was my buddy's. It was bought because of the album cover. But there's a full shot of it. So there you go. There's number 10. So there are 10 illustrated album covers. My little challenge. Thanks very much to Brian for putting his version out there. And thanks very much as well to Rob for starting it off. So hopefully there's some cool art that you found that maybe you didn't know about. And I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those YouTubey things. And I will see you next time.